Have you ever really stopped to think about the journey that every single one of us has taken? It's this absolutely incredible, microscopic story that starts every single human life. It's a tale of insane competition, of brilliant biological design, and just perfect timing. So today, we're going to explore one of the most fundamental processes in all of nature, how a new human life actually begins.
So, how does it all work? What are the steps? To really get it, we need to meet the two key players in this story, and we need to understand the critical, must happen perfectly steps that have to unfold for a new life to even have a chance.
And here they are. The story begins with these two incredibly specialized cells. On the left, you've got the sperm, that's the male reproductive cell, or gamete, and on the right, you see the egg, also called an ovum, the female gamete. These two are the essential protagonists in this whole biological epic. To really understand the journey they're about to take, we first have to appreciate just how they're designed. So let's take a closer look at these amazing little building blocks of life and see what makes them so perfectly suited for their roles.
It's kind of wild when you see them side by side. The sperm is tiny, it's basically all motor and a payload built for speed and travel. The egg, on the other hand, is huge in comparison. It's stationary and it's packed with all the resources needed to get a new life started. And get this, males produce sperm in absolutely massive numbers, while females typically release just one single precious egg a month. These differences are everything.
And when I say massive numbers, I am not kidding. The average male produces around 100 million sperm cells every single day. That number is just staggering. But it's not for show. The journey ahead is unbelievably tough, and the vast, vast majority of these sperm won't make it. It's basically nature's way of playing the odds in this epic race against time. Okay, so where do these millions and millions of little messengers even come from? Well, that brings us to the male reproductive system. You can think of it like a super high-tech factory and launch pad designed for one specific purpose: to produce and deliver sperm on its mission. This diagram here shows us the whole production line. Let's just trace the path for a second. Sperm production starts right here, in the two testes. From there, they travel through this whole network of tubes, and glands like the prostate add some crucial fluids to the mix, creating the final product we know as semen. It is a remarkably efficient system.
So let's break down who does what. The testes, they're the factories, churning out the sperm. The prostate gland, it adds the essential fluid and nutrients that the sperm need for their journey. The sperm duct is the transport tube, connecting the factory to the exit route, which is the urethra. Every single part has a super precise role in getting the sperm ready to go.
Now, let's switch gears and look at the other half of this equation, the destination. The female reproductive system isn't just a passive waiting room. It is a complex, dynamic environment designed to produce the egg, host the big moment of fertilization, and then nurture a new life. Okay, so let's look at the key structures here. You have the two ovaries, and their job is to produce and store the eggs. When an egg is released, it travels down one of these tubes, the oviducts, and this, right here, is typically where that magic moment of fertilization is going to happen. The final destination, if all goes well, is the uterus, this muscular organ where a fertilized egg will implant and grow. So let's recap the journey from the sperm's point of view. It enters through the vagina. From there, the big goal is to get to the oviduct, where it's hoping to meet an egg that's just been released from the ovary. If, and it's a big if, fertilization is successful, the brand new embryo will travel to the uterus, which becomes its home for development. It's this incredibly intricate system where every part has to do its job perfectly. Okay, so we have our two main characters. We have the launch pad, and we have the destination. Now, it's time for the main event, the incredible, high-stakes, all-or-nothing race to fertilization. So what exactly is fertilization? Well, at its core, it's this incredibly precise moment when the genetic material, the nucleus, from the sperm and the egg fuse together. It's the fusion of two separate cells to create one single brand new cell called a zygote, and this all goes down inside the oviduct. So let's trace this path. First, millions of sperm are deposited near the cervix. From that starting line, it is a grueling swim up through the uterus and into the oviducts. And the odds are just brutal. Out of the millions that start the race, maybe only a few thousand even make it this far. And in the end, only one, just one, will complete the mission. So how on earth does a single cell even manage a journey like this? Well, it's because it's equipped with some seriously specialized tools. It's got a long tail that's called a flagellum that whips back and forth like a motor. It's packed with mitochondria, which are like tiny little battery packs, providing all the energy for the swim. And at the very tip of its head, it has something called an achromosome, which is basically a cap full of special enzymes designed to break through the egg's defenses. And this is the moment of truth. On the left, you can see sperm swarming the egg. One of them makes it, using those enzymes in its acrosome to kind of digest a path through the egg's outer jelly-like coat. Now watch what happens next. The instant that one sperm's nucleus gets inside, the egg's membrane changes in a flash, creating this impenetrable barrier that blocks all the other sperm. It is like an instantaneous security lockdown. No one else gets in. So the race is won. One journey ends, but an even more incredible one is just beginning. Now we get to see how this one single cell develops over the next 9 months into a brand new human being. Right after fertilization, that new zygote gets to work. It immediately starts to divide. It becomes 2 cells, then 4, then 8, and on, forming this tiny little ball of cells while it's still traveling down the oviduct. After about a week, this little ball, which is now called an embryo, finally reaches the uterus and implants itself into the soft lining, which will be its home for the next 9 months. Now, to survive and grow, the developing fetus needs a pretty sophisticated life support system. That's where the placenta comes in. It's the interface, allowing all the good stuff like nutrients and oxygen to pass from the mother to the fetus and all the waste products to go back the other way. And all the while, it's floating in amniotic fluid, which acts like a protective cushion and a personal thermostat.
But here's a really vital point to understand. While the placenta is an amazing filter, it's not a perfect barrier. Some harmful things, like the nicotine from smoking, for example, are small enough to pass right through, from the mother's blood to the fetus. And this is exactly why a mother's health and habits during pregnancy are so incredibly critical.
Finally, after about 9 months, the baby is born. The umbilical cord, which was its lifeline to the placenta, is cut. And you know what's left behind after it shrivels up and falls off a few days later? The belly button, a permanent little reminder of that first vital connection to our mothers. So there you have it. We've gone from a race between millions of microscopic swimmers to the fusion of just 2 cells, all the way to the development of a fully formed human. When you just stop and consider the sheer complexity, the precision, and the staggering odds of it all, it really leaves you with one final thought. What does this incredible journey tell us about the fundamental design of life itself?